one, and we're live. Hi, Trevor. How are you doing today?
I am doing so well. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on with you guys. It's a pleasure on my part.
The honor is ours, and as we're waiting for the viewers to join in, do you have anything to say or just add in to the time other people join?
Yeah, while people are joining and we're waiting to get started, I'll give a little bit of history about me. I grew up in Guam, which is in the Pacific, and so it's it's a little bit north of Australia, 13 degrees north of the equator, and a small island. It's a U.S. territory. My dad was a scuba diving instructor, and lived there till I was 12. Then we moved to an island in Alaska, and so I didn't grow up in the continental U.S. There's this idea that if that you have to be born in the United States, oftentimes, to really achieve huge success, and I wasn't, and I don't. You have to be, and so I, wherever you're at, I think it's. We do not see your face. So do they not see me? So where do I need to be?
Just move the camera a bit so that people would be able to see you on the split screen. Slightly. Okay, that's great.
Is this good?
That's fantastic.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna jump on Facebook too, just so I can see where it's at real quick.
Sure.
Where what's the Facebook group?
Facebook group is. Give me 1 minute. I'll just post on the link here.
Can you send me a message on Messenger so I can join it real quick? Make sure that it all looks good. Okay. Sent here.
So we have people live here. Did you get the link, Trevor?
Yes, I just got the link. So I'm okay. So let's see. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. So it was in the middle of that thing. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. I am solid.
Okay, fantastic. So I see people have started joining us, and I hope the voice is clear here and you're able to hear what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
What time is it where you guys are at?
Well, here it's like 8 in the evening.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I guess yours is morning time?
Yeah, it's 8:30 in the morning, and I know that's early, but like I said earlier, once my kids go to sleep, and my wife goes to sleep, I get a surge of energy, and so I usually work at night often, so don't fall asleep until 4 or 5 usually a.m. But I used to own a solar company, and last year, the year that I left, they did service in Vietnam. Each year we chose a location, sometimes in the United States, sometimes outside of the United States. And so Dominican Republic, Honduras, Peru, Canada, United States. Last year it was in Vietnam, Hanoi, and they took 150 employees and did some service out there. So anyway, it's exciting.
That's great to know. So since there are a few viewers who have just joined, would you just like to say hi to them, Trevor?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to answer all the questions that you have. I believe that the more that you can give anybody, the better it is for everyone. the world is abundant, the universe is abundant, and so there's no need to ever hoard secrets or knowledge. The more we share, the better everyone's going to be. So I'm here to share everything that I can with you.
Okay, that's lovely. Before we begin, I would just like to thank you, since you just mentioned that it's like early morning there, and you just took your time to have a video chat or chat with us guys and share your experience with us. And we are really honored that you're here and talking with us and sharing your experience. So from the group and from the group admin, I would really like to thank you, TreVor.
Absolutely. Right? Thank you for inviting me.
So welcome to our group's live stream, guys. Here we go behind the scenes to see the tactics and uncover the strategies top entrepreneurs use to make sales in their market and how we can get those same results. Now, please welcome our host, Hanu, and I'm Jay. You guys are in for a treat today, as you would be chatting with, or you would be asking the questions, and TreVor here would be answering all your questions. Let me introduce TreVor. TreVor ChapMan is the man who made $1 million in 3 months. Welcome to the live stream, TreVor.
Thank you. How are you doing today? Thank you. I'm doing very well.
Lovely. So TreVor, before we begin the questions, again, would you really like to say a few words and then get on with the questions and answers?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you want me to share some of my background?
Definitely. That would be really great.
Okay. So I grew up in Guam. It's a small island in the Pacific Ocean. My dad was a scuba diving instructor. That was during the 80s and 90s. We had typhoons, we had earthquakes, we would not have power for 2-3 months at a time. And I loved every second of it as a little boy growing up in that. It brought adventure, and there was never anything that was dull. When I was 12, we moved to Alaska. And in Alaska, he was a whale watching boat captain. Dive instructors and whale watching captains don't make a lot of money. And so I grew up working with my dad to help provide for the family. My parents had 5 children. I was the oldest. So after school, I would spend the time with my dad on the boats working. And during the summers, all of my summers were spent working to help pay the mortgage or the payment for the home that our family lived in. I started selling sand dollars. I would go out and I would swim in the ocean in Alaska, very cold. I would find sand dollars. It's a little round. You can Google it, sand dollar. I would clean them, and then I would take them to the docks where the boats would moor up, where they'd tie up. And then I'd hold them up and I'd sell one for $1. And I'd sell them to whoever would buy them. And the problem was that I had to only converse with one person at a time. I couldn't talk to 20, 30, 100. Eventually, I started just yelling out loud, sand dollars, only $1. And I could talk to 5 to 8 people, but still, if one person was interested in buying, I had to just direct that conversation to them. And I saw all the others walking by, and I lost the opportunity to talk to them. And I realized that I needed to sell something or offer something to earn money where I could give it to all of them at the same time. And that's when I decided to play my saxophone on the docks for the tourists, because I could play it and they all could hear at the same time. And I started to play my saxophone during the summers. And, when you're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, that's not cool. Your friends are having fun driving around in their trucks, and I play my saxophone. But if I didn't do it, then my brothers and sisters wouldn't have food to eat, and it would be hard for my parents to pay the mortgage. And so you do what you got to do. After high school, I lived in Russia and Ukraine for 5 years. I speak Russian, and I got into security, commercial security, surveillance cameras, access control. One thing led to another, and eventually, after 12 years as an entrepreneur, in pest control that I sold door to door, knocking on people's doors, security that I started door to door. We'd knock on people's doors and then sell it to them face to face. And then eventually solar door to door. And I had a lot of different opportunities in between. I worked with Raphael out of Israeli Defense Force, software side, and eventually Goldman Sachs invested in the security company and the solar company. And so a lot of things happened. And I decided that there is probably a way online to go screen to people's screens and knock on them how we would knock on people's actual doors. And I said, I'm going to experiment. So I read everything I could about e-commerce. And in 1 week, I didn't take a long time, just 7 days. And then I launched my first store. And I put everything that I had into it, but I was still running my company. So I could only moonlight it. That means I could only do it by the light of the moon or at night. So my first $1 million I made online, I made by working 2 or 3 hours at night after my regular company was done for the day. So the first 3 months I made $1 million. The next 3 months I made another $1 million. We're now 10 months in, and I've got about a dozen different e-commerce sites, a whole bunch of different projects, and Clark Capital, which is a venture capital company in Utah, is buying all of them for 8 figures, and it's something that I enjoy. I have passion about it. I'm excited about it. But it's something that anybody can do. And so that's why I'm hosting EcomCon. That's why I have the course, because I think that the largest rebellion that has ever occurred is happening right now. Never has there been such a great equalizer between the classes, high class, low class, rich, poor. Never has there been an opportunity for everyone to be level and for everyone to rise. And the internet provides that. 1,000 generations have all culminated as humanity, our collected minds, and we've created the internet. And now the internet is available for you to use, for me to use. There's many different ways we can use it. But one of the first things that someone needs to do if they want to help other people is lift themselves up. And you can do that through e-commerce. So that was a long little intro, but I hope that gives some background for you guys.
That's awesome. And I see that a lot of people are really joining in to see what you have to say. So let's begin with the question and answer session.
Let's do it.
Okay, TreVor?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So the first question is, how do you pay for your AliExpress supplier?
So one of the reasons why drop shipping is a good, viable option is because you don't have to pay for the product before you get the sale. You can first sell the product and you get the money. And after you sell it and you get the money, then you pay for it. But see, people are used to Amazon and other fast shipments. So you need to become a good salesman, because you're not going to have that money deposited for maybe best case scenario 2 days. In many instances, 7 days later, if you're working internationally, that money will be deposited. So you want to write a very excellent nurturing sequence. After the customer buys, you start communicating with them through automated email flows and through messenger flows that make them like you. You guys should look up CD Baby. What I did is I knew that it was going to take a long time for the products to arrive. So I Googled, I knew that the guy that invented CD Baby, Charlie Delta Baby, B-A-B-Y, he wrote out a very good email intro to his customers. I took that and I adapted it for mine. And so on the second day, I talked about, you know, something like our product specialist has put on his white gloves. He's searching through the warehouse to find your product. He's going to put it in the best box that money can buy, wrap it with gold foil, put a bow on it. Our whole staff is going to walk to the airport to put it on an airplane. Like I went through this thing that made people laugh. And because they laughed when they read it, we didn't have complaints that most people get about the wait time. So you can pay for your AliExpress products simply by waiting until the money gets deposited in your account. But you have to take care of the customer. You can't wait for 7 days. You've got to start the communication with them. And the great thing, I know one of the questions is which software do I use? I use Klaviyo. But the good thing about Klaviyo, you can probably do this with MailChimp too, is you can set up a flow. So you can send out that email. And if they don't open it, send that same email the next day. And if they don't open it, send that email again the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, until they do open it, and then start the next email going. That way, they actually get the indoctrination sequence that you want to send to them. Good?
That's great. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag here. So, okay. And coming to our next question, it's a bit long question. I only have $300. Should I start with Shopify dropshipping? What is your next goal after reaching 1 million for inspiration? And how many VAs do you use for your first 1 million store?
Yeah. So when I started, I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to use $1,000. So I'm going to do $100 per day. So I gave myself a limit. And so I did. I only spent $100 per day. The first day I lost money. And I realized I did not have the right products. So I completely changed the store that night. I changed the URL. I changed the images. I changed all the products. The next day, I made like $250. The day after that, 400, then 800. By day 14, I had my first $10,000 day. So it doesn't take years. Q4 is coming up, and that's when I started, was Q4. You can do the same thing. So if you have $300 and you understand, there's two skills that matter: driving traffic and converting that traffic. So if you can focus on those two skills and get very good at driving traffic and converting, you'll do well. But you're not going to drive traffic if people aren't interested in going down that road. So you need to make sure that the road that you build is attractive enough for people to go down it to drive traffic. So next was the VAs. How many VAs to do $1 million?
2, right?
1. And people think that they're like, what? You should have had like 15. This is why I only had 1. I believe that you should understand every aspect of your business. And so before I hired a single VA, I did the customer service. That's why I could write the emails that I talked to you about, because I knew what they were writing me back about. They were mad at the amount of time. So I was like, okay, so before I pass it off, I want to solve the problem. So I did all the customer service in the beginning so that I knew how to fix the problems and automate the solutions that I could automate. Once I fixed that problem and automated that solution, then I gave that to the VA. And then I started working on the next thing. Now I have a whole bunch. But for my first $1 million, I had 1 VA. And I paid $3 an hour. And that VA is still with me today. She's our top VA, the boss of all the VAs. And then, so the third question is about after $1 million?
That's good.
Yeah. My first $1 million was in 90 days. Second $1 million was 90 days later. And it went like this. And then like that. Because you learn, and then you take off. And so we've taken off, and I'm doing a lot more than I was doing in the beginning. and you can do it too. You have to commit to a craft. I had an interview yesterday with a guy who has been in the tech space for a long time. And he talked about becoming an expert. And that's what you should commit to do if you're going to do this. Dedicate yourself to the craft and become an expert. Good?
That's good. Great. Thank you so much. So during all this process where you said initially when you started there was some issues and then again you changed the store, if you were feeling frustrated, what was the thing which helped you out?
Like I said, I was an entrepreneur for 12 years. I got frustrated in 2008 when I lost all my customers because of the recession. And I knew the only way I could fix that was to go knock more doors. When I had my security company and we had no customers, the only way to fix that was to knock doors. Solar, same thing. At one point in time, I had started the company. I was the president of the company. We had like 50 sales reps, but sales were down. What was the only way to fix it? Knock doors. So I went out and knocked doors and closed sales. You have to be willing. So I have this slide on the pitch deck for my old solar company. And it said CEO, CMO, president, manager, doesn't matter. Everybody gets their hands dirty. And so you'll be frustrated. That's how it is. You'll be disappointed. That's life. You just got to man up and move on. If you need to meditate, meditate. You need to read, read. But give yourself 5-10 minutes and then push it aside and move forward. That's the only way.
Okay. Fantastic. So the next question is, do you use interest or non-intersect interest for your Facebook ads?
I start with multiple interest levels. So I see Facebook ads like this. There's a mountain. There's many mountains. You need to find the mountain of your niche. And then in that mountain, there's many strains of gold. The whole mountain doesn't have gold. Very specific places have gold. And so the general targeting, the first layer, is the mountain. The second layer, because you then narrow it by another layer, that gets you inside the mountain, a little bit further. Lastly is the very specific, where you actually find the veins of gold. So if you have a shop that has products for downhill mountain bikers, you'll start with the top layer being biking, cycling. The next layer is going to be more targeted. It's going to be downhill mountain biking. So you have general, then you're becoming more detailed. Downhill mountain biking. Right. Then your last one is going to be where you actually dig for the gold. So you're going to try specialized bicycles. You're going to try magazines, Downhill Mountain Biker magazine. You're going to try the X Games. You're going to try the name of individual downhill mountain bikers. And you have to launch a whole bunch to find the ones that work. Oftentimes people ask me, I launched one ad set. What metrics should I look for? And I say, you have no metrics to look for because you have to compare. You need 30 ad sets simultaneously so you can compare them all with each other to decide which one is working the best. And then on the mountain, once you find a vein of gold and you isolate that, you shut down the digging everywhere else and you put them all and you try and dig this vein of gold out. So I do intersect, and then after I have enough data, that's when I start creating LLAs, and I'll usually still use interest targeting with that.
Okay, that's great. So, how many audiences do you test when you're launching a new product?
Oh, I'll test. If I believe the product is a winner, I'll do 10 or 15 different ad sets until I find the right one. If I don't know that it's a winner, then I will do maybe 3 ad sets, and on those 3 ad sets, I'll test it for 72 hours and see what my results are.
Okay, that's great. So for you, what is a good cost per purchase with Facebook ads?
Yeah, so you need to decide based on the cost of your product. I have some products that only cost $5 plus shipping, so $10 total. My cost per purchase can only be $1 or $2. Those are all front-end lead magnets because you don't want to deal with a $10 product or a $5 product. So I have those sometimes to bring people in only. I've got other products that cost $1,200, $1,200. My cost per purchase, I can afford $400. So it's a ratio. You're not saying, oh, I'm looking for a $10 cost per acquisition. You're looking at the proper ratio. You want to have about a 50% profit margin left over after product cost, ad cost, fulfillment cost, operations. That includes VAs. That includes a warehouse if you do that. That includes all your software services, all your chat services. So you need to know what that generally is going to cost. And then you need to look at how many products you're selling on average, your average order value, so that you then understand per product, it's going to cost me $6 to run my operation. So you build that in on top of the cost of your product or whatever it may be. And now you price your products accordingly. Here's the biggest thing. Lots of people think that you need to have, if you have 50 products in your shop, that you have 50 different ads running per product. And that's not what you do. Usually, you'll only find one product driver. You'll find one product that drives all your traffic. And that one product, that's what you focus your ads on. Once they get to your site, then you work on conversions across your product line. So they go there because of one product on Facebook, then you upsell them and cross-sell them your other products.
Okay. Lovely. So when you made your first million in 3 months, how did you deal with the cash flow, the PayPal limits, AliExpress suppliers?
Yeah, I didn't use PayPal because PayPal is notorious for holding your money. So I knew that I was going to lose many customers, maybe 2 times as many customers, right? Maybe 3 times. But the problem is that it doesn't matter if my sales are 3 times larger if I don't see that cash. And so if I'm not going to see that cash, I'm not interested in using that service. So I found partners that would work with me on this. And I communicated with my banker and my local bank. And I found people that would grow with me as I said, look, I'm going to grow this. I need a merchant account that's going to work with me. And so, you know, I had daily deposits, no reserve, but I've been building that for 12 years, that relationship with those bankers for 12 years. When I first started 12 years ago, I didn't have that. Everything takes time. So I didn't have cash flow issues. But I know a lot of people in my group do have cash flow issues. They start selling too much and they can't keep up. So they usually think, I need to shut my ads down. And I say, don't shut your ads down. You'll lose momentum. Instead, raise your price and continue to raise the price on your store until the number of sales drops, but your profit margin increases, and now cash flow is not a problem. So that's how you deal with that.
That's a great idea. Awesome. Do you separate mobile and desktop ads while testing?
Not when I'm testing, when I'm scaling. So when I'm testing a product, I send it to everybody. Maybe this product old people like, and old people are on desktop. Maybe only young people, and young people are on mobile. I don't know. The product will decide. The market will decide. So I don't separate while I'm testing. Once I know that I have a winner, a driver, that's when I start to separate and scale.
Okay. So how many purchases does it take for you to think about creating a custom audience?
Roughly 300, but I prefer 1,000. So this is custom audiences are where you separate the real marketers from the wannabes, the people that are not real marketers. Interestingly, with my first million, I had no clue about custom audiences. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know how to use them. So I used no custom audiences when I made that first million. I learned about them in an attempt to scale. I said, I want to retarget to the people that didn't buy, but I don't want the people who did buy to see the ad. This is the second reason I use Klaviyo. I know it's more expensive, but Klaviyo allows me to upload daily evergreen audiences to Facebook. So if they bought a phone, but they did not buy a phone case, I have an audience in Facebook, and it is everyone who bought a phone. Now when I'm targeting for the case, I can exclude this group right here. Or I can upload the top 10% of my people who have spent $100 or more. And then I can say, show them this ad, which is a coupon for 35%, but only show it to them and exclude everyone else. And so if you really want custom audiences and creative uses of both excluding and including, that's really what will make you a marketer on overdrive, is the use of custom audiences. And that's why I use Klaviyo, is for the custom audiences.
Okay. Great. According to you, or rather in your experience, what is a good ROI?
So my margin on that first $1 million pre-tax, so before taxes, was 48%. That's a good ROI. Anything less than 40 or 30%, and it's going to be really hard to save money while you're growing. You must have healthy margins. This is so funny. There was a sales rep that used to knock for me door to door with one of my old companies. And he wrote me when he saw this, the article that came out. And he said, hey, great idea. I was going to do that 3 months ago and I didn't. Good job. First off, big mistake is that if you already thought about it, you should have just done it, right? Sometimes we overanalyze. But then when he started his shop, he put all of the same products that I had, but he decreased the prices. He thought that he would be able to steal all my customers because they were getting the products cheaper. But the problem is that there's a difference between query-based marketing and disruptive marketing. And what we do is disruptive marketing. Query-based marketing is when I know I want a toothbrush, So I get on Amazon and I search toothbrush. Amazon then gives me all the options, and I choose the highest quality toothbrush that's the least expensive, the cheapest. So it's a race to the bottom. And if you fight in the race to the bottom, the margins will be way too small. You won't have enough to survive because there are billion-dollar brands that are okay making a 1% margin like Walmart. You can't compete with that. So you can't win if you're doing query-based marketing. You need to do disruptive marketing. Disruptive marketing is when I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling through my friend feed, and then all of a sudden I see an ad that resonates with me, and I click through on that and I buy it based on impulse. That's disruptive marketing. Disruptive marketing allows you to market at prices up here. I don't have a single product that is cheaper on my sites than it is on Amazon. If they go to Amazon, they can get every product dramatically cheaper, but they're not making a query. They're not searching. So I'm not engaging in query or search-based marketing. Disruptive marketing. Here's the problem with his store. He was driving ads through disruptive marketing. So they didn't know they wanted it. They didn't search for it. Because of that, the price wasn't a factor consciously. And so if you're searching, it is a factor because you want it, it's legit. When you disrupt their regular flow and they click through to your site, if it seems like it's too good of a deal, they are skeptical. I'll give you an example. One of the first products that I sold that I saw as well was a solar battery. And I sold it because I had a solar company. So I understood it. It was something that I was familiar with. So I decided that that is what I was going to sell. I initially priced it at $24. I sold very few. Many people think, well, I'm going to lower the price then, it's too expensive. But I looked at it and I said, when someone clicks through and they see that, the perceived value is too low. They see it for $25 and they think, it's a piece of junk because a good one would cost $99. So instead of lowering the price to sell more, I raised the price to $55. I raised it by $30. So on sale for $55, usually $110. And my sales went like this. Because the perceived value of the product increased. And so if you're on Amazon, then price is a factor because people are searching for what you have. But if you're driving your traffic through Facebook ads, you need to increase the perceived value so that people say, whoa, I want that, it's worth that, and I want to buy that now. And so when you engage in disruptive marketing, not query-based, search-based, disruptive marketing, you can have huge margins. So you need to take advantage of that fact alone, and you need to increase the perceived value, and you do that by charging more. That little phone lens, you know, that people put on their phone right here, I see so many people selling that for $5, trying to sell it for $5. And they're like, why will this not sell, Trevor? And I say, well, because no one's going to buy that for $5, but they will buy it for $100. They don't believe me. They put it on their site, they raise it to $100, and they start selling it. Because disruptive marketing is different. So that's why you can charge those rates.
Right. So, what do you think about manual and auto-bid? Which would be better for your ROI?
Auto bid is great when you're starting, and you should start with it. But once you master Facebook ads, you want to go manual bid. It's hard to scale with an auto bid campaign. My first $3 million online was all auto bid. And then all of a sudden, my cost per purchase started to rise, and I was like, what's going on? It's because I was scaling. And so I needed to cut off this section and maintain this. And you can maintain higher ROI with manual bidding. With manual bidding, you just need to launch a lot more ad sets and hit a larger group of people. And when you do that with manual bid, you can control what your cost per purchase is. So start with auto, understand auto, start experimenting with manual, and then scale with manual.
Okay, great. So the next question here we have is regarding dropshipping. So what do you think is the future of dropshipping? Since customers are aware of AliExpress and various other such sites, do you think dropshipping would last long, or what are your thoughts about it?
So we need to see it as it is. Drop shipping will continue. Drop shipping is simply you don't handle the product. The manufacturer or the vendor sends it right to your customer. You're the marketer. You send them the order they sent. That will continue. But what we're talking about is actually the AliExpress model. That's what we're talking about. The world is becoming flat and smaller. And as the world continues to decrease in perceived size and people start to see AliExpress, that model will start to die. There will be people that will always buy from you because they won't trust AliExpress. That will always be there. Old people, etc. But the opportunity for AliExpress dropshipping will continue to decrease. But the opportunity for dropshipping in general will remain. In November, I'm taking a group to China to introduce them to suppliers that I use, factories that I use, because if you can source products that aren't on AliExpress, you have no competition, and that model continues to work. So drop shipping will always be there.
Okay.
The source of the product will change.
Okay. So what is your experience with chatbots? Have you ever used them yourself?
With what?
With chatbots?
Oh, chatbots? Yeah. Chatbots are great. Yes, I use chatbots. I use ManyChat. I use Trust Message. There are a few others. I can't remember what the app is called. Recart, which is my abandoned cart app of choice, just recently also launched a abandoned messenger cart option. So chatbots are great. I also send ads out on chatbots. I think that the ability to use chatbots is only going to grow. One of the overlooked areas are cell phones, text messaging. One of my friends started a company, and it's text-based marketing. So just like with emails, you can write a flow. If they open this, then do that, etc. And the same thing exists with messenger bots. If they open this, then send that. If they reply this. People have forgotten about text messages. But text messages get the highest open rate of all. That software and that technology, I think, will surpass messenger and chatbots for a short while people are still jumping on the messenger platform. So I use them. You should use every tool that exists. Every tool that's out there you should use. And the more you use, the more legitimate your business becomes. When people order something off your site, all of a sudden they get a receipt in Messenger and they open it up, they're not concerned now if you're legitimate. because a non-legitimate site wouldn't go through, in their mind, wouldn't go through that hassle. So the more you can do, the more interfaces for you to connect with your customer base, the better the experience is for them.
Okay, great. So have you ever tried dropshipping with eBay or Amazon?
I have not. And the reason why I have not gone onto Amazon is because that is Jeff Bezos's house. And he sets the rules. If I'm going to do marketing, if I'm going to go through the heartache of ordering products, shipping products, dealing with returns, etc., I want the customer data, and I want to build a relationship with the customer. Through eBay and through Amazon, I don't own the customer data. I can't send them emails. I can't remarket to them. I can't build that relationship because the relationship is with Amazon. I order on Amazon every day. Literally, like almost every day, I'm ordering something on Amazon. I have no clue who the marketer was that I bought the product from. All I know is I got it on Amazon. I don't know if it's an Amazon product or if there's a guy like me behind a desk somewhere selling it. No clue. Because that relationship can't exist on Amazon. And so because of that, time is limited, resources are limited. So I'm going to focus my time and my resources on channels that I control, because that creates an asset, a customer-based asset that will continue to work with me in the future. You can do it though. One of the people that's sponsoring EcomCon is a company called Doba, and many of their customers, it's drop shipping, but it's drop shipping for Amazon. So on our conference, you'll see them, and you can do that, but it's not my method, and I think it's far less. The longevity of that approach decreases.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the next question here would be regarding physical products. When you think about selling physical products, would you prefer Shopify or would you going for ClickFunnels?
Both. So start a Shopify store, and in Shopify, have all your products, 100, 500, 1,000, doesn't matter. Test it in Shopify. And when you find a product that sells, then open up a funnel for it, because you can convert at a higher rate on ClickFunnels. But the mistake is that ClickFunnels is not built for physical products. It's built for info products. So bring them through the funnel on ClickFunnels. But then I have a friend, his name is Jordan Gal. He's the CEO of CartHook. They have something called the magic variant button. Take them through the funnel, put his code in here. That's a Shopify app, but it has code that you can put on ClickFunnels, and then it sends them over to Shopify for the checkout. That way all the customer data isn't in ClickFunnels, ShipStation, Zapier. Really hard to manage. That way all of the customer information is in Shopify. And now your team can successfully handle all of that. So test in Shopify, scale in ClickFunnels, but always bring it back to Shopify to handle the customer experience.
Okay, fantastic. Now, thinking about design, so what kind of service are you using, or what kind of service do you think when you want to design a logo for a particular product?
So for like 6 months, I used Design Pickle, because they would do unlimited designs for a flat fee each month. I recently canceled because they started to not do so well. When you're starting, don't pay money for it. Go to canva.com, create your own logo. Once you have money, once you have extra jet fuel to burn, Then go hire someone to make a good logo for you. But in the beginning, minimum viable product. You don't need a $100 logo to start. You just need a 15-minute logo that you create on Canva.
Okay. So what do you think, or rather, what is your idea regarding a particular person spending $3 per ad?
You're saying test an ad set with $3?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. But you need to launch multiple ad sets. So this is what I tell my people. If you have $20 total for a day, instead of launching one ad set for $20, this is testing phase, trying to find a product. Launch 10 ad sets at $2 each for 5 different products. Find the one that performs the best, shut all the others down, and now open that one up and spend $20 on 10 different ad sets to see it. Now that you're targeting for that product specifically, which of them work better, launch the others or shut down the others, and now focus on those 3 or 4 ad sets that really work for that product and put your money in there. $3 is fine. $300 is fine. But it's comparison that matters. $3 with just one ad set or $300 with just one ad set is not going to give you the data to compare. But $300 across 100 ad sets or 3 ad sets at $1 each, that's going to give you data.
So how do you create video ads? Do you buy a product before testing? Or how do you go about it?
I launch many products and I test them. And I have photo ads. When a product starts selling, I buy it and bring it in and I create the video ad. And I create many video ads to test. After I see that it's moving and I can predict reliably my monthly volume, then I order in bulk, bring it in a shipping container. I have a warehouse in Salt Lake, and then we ship them. But again, minimal viable products. Don't worry about a video ad if you don't have a customer. Don't worry about a logo if you don't have a customer. Don't worry about changing your conversion by 2.2% if you don't have a customer. Customer is what matters. Sales are what matters. My very first company ever was a marketing company in the real world, knocking on doors. And I was so worried about what my logo looks like, so worried what my desk looks like, so worried what my business cards looked like. And one day I was sitting at my desk, and I looked at it, I looked at my business card, and I realized, wow, I have everything except a customer. Wrong. That was the incorrect approach. That business went under. I eventually did get customers. I got 40,000 customers, but in 2008, bam, lost them all. Now my approach is different. I have multiple e-com sites, and I launch it first. I don't even worry about a logo. I just type the name in. I come up with the URL that's okay, and I do the least necessary to create the most trust so that I can test that niche or that product line. And then that product line has to earn my attention by making sales. I won't make sales unless I earn traffic getting there. So we have a relationship with each other. And as that site brings more sales, I put more attention on it. As it requires more attention, then I get the logo. Then I write more in-depth email sequences. Then I buy the product in. But the key is minimum viable product. Just get a product into the market. The market will decide if it works. And when the market decides, then make it more beautiful. People think if you're making art that you have to make it perfect before you show people. Art is like e-commerce. Don't finish the painting. until you know that it's going to work. If you're sculpting, sculpt it out, hold it and say, hey, look, right now it doesn't look like anything, but this is going to be a human. And if the market says awesome, then keep chiseling away and keep testing. Don't spend 6 months and you finish it, and you say, here you go. I read these groups, and there are people who say, oh, thanks for all the information. I've been in here for 1.5 years and I still haven't launched my site. What are they doing? Why? Those people shouldn't even comment. Launch a site. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. It shouldn't be perfect. That's precisely why you should launch it, because it's not perfect. If you wait till it's perfect, you will never launch.
Okay. So there's this particular issue which a lot of us face when we are into PPE. We get a lot of likes and shares and a decent amount of sales. However, as soon as we shift to WC, there's the sales drops or no sales. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, what you focus on grows. If you focus on engagement, you'll get engagement. But engagement doesn't put money in your pocket. Website conversions puts money in your pocket. So focus on website conversions. Don't focus on PPE. There's no need. If you want to brand your store and build your brand after you've made millions of dollars, then do PPE. But in the beginning, don't do it. People say, oh, test it with $5 for PPE. I've never done that. Why? Because what you focus on grows. Facebook is intelligent. If it thinks that you want likes and comments, it's going to give you those. But the people that like and comment are not the same people that buy. Many of the people that buy do not like and comment. And so you're excluding purchasers by getting people to like and comment. And many of the people that like and comment, they will go to your site. And what do? You feed your pixel people who like your stuff but don't buy. People who like your posts but don't buy don't make you money. So don't do it. Do website conversions, because what you want are conversions. You can spend $5 on website conversions and maybe get a conversion. You can spend $5 on PPE and get engagement. But what do you want? Would you rather have 10 likes or one sale? One sale. So focus on what it is you want and only what you want. Other strategies, use once you make money. But it's time to money that's most important. And what's the best way to make money with Facebook? Website conversions.
So have you tried Instagram ads or Instagram influencer? What would you prefer or suggest?
Yeah, Instagram works well for certain products. Facebook works well for all products. So use Facebook. And once you have sales and you know that the product will sell, if it will sell on Facebook, then it will sell on Instagram. But if it does not sell on Facebook, it won't sell on Instagram. And Instagram is a smaller marketplace. Instagram has fewer capabilities regarding the ads. It's less user-friendly, and it's filled with a demographic that is not the optimal purchasing demographic. Facebook has a lot more buyers than Instagram does. So start on Facebook. Make hundreds of thousands of dollars, then go to Instagram. I've done a lot with influencers. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't.
Okay. So coming to email marketing, what kind of software do you use? Are you using MailChimp or are you using Calvio? Because Calvio seems to be a bit expensive, on the expensive side, actually.
I use Klaviyo, and I did not send a single email before I made $1 million. Because I didn't know. I didn't know to do it. You should send emails. But your costs should increase with your revenue. If you're not making money, don't spend money on email marketing. When you start making money, then add email marketing onto your engine. And I use Klaviyo because of its integration with Facebook. I use Klaviyo because of its flow sequences. And those two reasons are why I use Klaviyo. And I recommend Klaviyo. But again, install it when your sales from your website cover the cost.
Okay. So in your opinion, why do you think a lot of people fail in dropshipping?
Same reason people fail when they want to play professional basketball. Same reason people fail when they want to become an astronaut. Same reason people fail when they start a lemonade stand. Most people lack the discipline and character to continue when it gets tough. A wise man said, character is the ability to carry out a worthy decision long after the emotion of making that decision has left. What that means is that right after this conversation, everyone's going to be jazzed, they're going to be excited, and they're going to go build a dropshipping store. But maybe tomorrow sales don't come. Maybe the next day sales don't come. Maybe the day after that sales don't come. And if they are weak in character, then you give up on it. That's why they say the strong survive. It's the strong-willed that survive. The people with the ability to control their emotions. See, this is what door-to-door taught me. I would go out and I would knock for 10 hours straight. And at the end, I knew I'd make sales. But in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd knock for 10 hours. I would make 0 sales. That means I didn't make any money because it was all commission-based. In fact, I lost money because I had to pay for food, gas, etc. This would happen for 4 or 5 days in a row. And when I would get home, I would just be so concerned. But I knew if I allowed myself to cycle down that drain, I wouldn't get sales. I had to control my mind and my willpower. So when I would start to get concerned, I would sit back, I would control my breathing, and I would imagine that I did get sales. And the stress would go away. I would make myself believe that I got sales. And I would feel good, and I would be grounded and stable. Now I'm prepared again to go back out, and sure enough, I always made sales because I always went out. Someone posted an image in one of my groups, and it said it was satire, it was funny, it was comedy. And it had someone sitting at their computer, and they said, I launched an ad 5 minutes ago, and still no sales. I knew it was a scam. Like anything, this is a craft. If you want to become a blacksmith, it takes years working on it. If the first time you try to forge a tool, it doesn't work, it's not that blacksmithing doesn't work, it's that you don't work. You haven't done it long enough to become an expert craftsman. This is also a craft. You have to do it so long that eventually random factors leave and you control the area. That's why people fail. They give up before they become masters and experts. And it's the same reason they fail in entrepreneurship, in relationships, with their bodies, with goals that they set. It's all the same. It's not just drop shipping. It's every facet of life.
True. Very true. So coming to the next question, say if I'm a newbie and if I'm opening a new Shopify store, how many products should I launch with one new Shopify store?
30. You should launch 30 products, and then you should launch 30 ad sets across 10 products. So out of the 30, find 10 that you think will sell on Facebook. Create 30 ad sets, 3 ad sets per product. First product, 3 ad sets. Second product, 3 ad sets. Third product, 3 ad sets. And then compare the results, compare the data. Shut down the ones not working, find the ones that are, now build those. And once you find a product that sells, focus on that one product. Drive that vein of gold as deep as you can. When people find gold in a mountain, they take everything and they mine that vein of gold. They don't say, oh, let's send one miner to this vein of gold and send the rest all over looking for more. No, they focus on what is here right now. And so when you find a winning product, focus on that product. Don't divert your resources elsewhere, because that vein of gold is here right now. Dig it until you dig it all up.
So another question related to email. Say, for example, if I have 100 emails in my list, should I send them, or rather start sending them emails, or should I wait to get more emails, or make up the list and then send those emails? What would you suggest here?
So I believe that action is the most important thing for you as a marketer and for your customers. Force your customers to make an action. My customers will either buy from me or they will unsubscribe from my list. Because every email I send, I make at least $1,000. Sometimes I make $4,000. If I send 3 in a day, I'll make at least 3,000 or 12. If I send 0, I'll make 0. So we send emails every day. If you have 100 people on your list and you can pay for the software because your profit margins are high enough, send them emails, because that's free marketing.
So do you use Google AdWords to assist your Facebook targeting?
Yes, but I do that, but don't focus on that in the beginning. I started using Google AdWords after I made about $2 million. Now I do use it. But in the beginning, the fastest way to make money is with Facebook. So only use Facebook in the beginning.
Okay. Now, say, for example, if a particular person has spent $500 and only got one sale, what would be your advice for that particular person?
Shut that down. So if you spend $15 on Facebook and you do not get a sale, shut that ad down, shut that ad set down. Now get a new product up. So this is what you need to do. There's a saying in America, and you may have a similar saying, birds of a feather flock together. That means that birds that have the same kind of feathers, they fly together. And that's true for humans. So when I started, I didn't think, what product will 50-year-old women like to buy? I did not say that because I'm not a 50-year-old woman. I said, what product would I buy? What would I pay for it if I was in the mood to buy it? And now I target myself on Facebook. So if you're starting and you start a store, make it a store that you would buy from. Because if you scratch your itch, you'll scratch other people's itch. Find products that you would buy. Put it at prices, the highest price that you would pay for it. Then when you get on Facebook, target yourself. Don't think, how can I find 50-year-old women? Think, how can I find TreVor ChapMan or Jerry or whatever your name is? And then when you were 20, how would you find yourself on Facebook? Where would people find you? When you were 25, you're reading different books and magazines now. Now you're in college. How would you find you when you were 25? When you're 30, target yourself. Now you have a family. Now you have a full-time job. When you're 40, now you have a house. So target yourself at different ages of life. You'll have success. And then once you master the skill, now become a marketer that markets to other people, not just yourself. If you write an ad and you wouldn't click on it, why are you putting it out there? You need to write and create ads so compelling that you want to buy from yourself. Start to other people, because you don't understand other people. You understand you. Do you scuba dive? Do you mountain bike? Do you hike through the jungle? Do you bake cakes? Do you enjoy reading science fiction? Whatever you like to do, create a shop around that. Because disruptive marketing, remember this is disruptive and this is query or search-based marketing. Disruptive marketing requires a passionate audience, people who will impulsively buy, meaning they didn't plan it, but they're going to buy because that's awesome. They buy based on what their passions are. So a photographer is passionate. They'll buy photography equipment, but they're not passionate about baking cakes. So they're not going to buy on impulse kitchen supplies. So you need to find a passionate niche and target passionate people like you.
Very good. Lovely. That's really fantastic insight. So coming to landing pages, do you use them for e-commerce, for building up your email list?
Yeah, but in the beginning, don't worry about that. Again, minimum viable product. In the beginning, get a Shopify store up and send the customers to a products page. Don't worry about getting fancy with landing pages. Don't worry about, to this day, I only build my email lists to people who have abandoned their cart, opted in, or bought. I don't have any other ways to collect email addresses because I want my email list to be valuable. And if I start adding in people through Facebook lead capture campaigns and other campaigns, they're not going to be buyers. People in the beginning, they make it way too complicated. Don't worry about landing pages. Don't worry about whether or not you have a button above the fold. Just get your store up and throw it at the market. And then the market will tell you what you need. And eventually when you're making money, when you have extra jet fuel to burn, then fly around and build landing pages and lead capture pages. But until you're making money, only focus on the product page.
Now, this will be the last question, and this is more towards what kind of market should we target? Say, for example, should we just go in for a US market or any specific country, or should it be worldwide? Because a lot of them feel that when we are targeting worldwide, some do get sales, some do not get sale, and people are not clear from where they're getting the sales.
I am a big fan of having a quality pixel and a quality email list. 95% of everything I do is in the US only. Because people in the US that click on my site, that click through, they're more likely to buy than someone in Trinidad clicking through. So I focus on the US. There are people that start worldwide. And if you follow them and you use their methodology, then follow them and do what they do. But me and my group, we focus on the US, the largest consumer segment in the world. By far, the US consumes far more products than any other country. So I focus on the US. That keeps my pixel very quality. That keeps my email lists high quality. The other thing is that once I find winning products, I bring them in-house. I ship them over so I can ship them quickly. And shipping for me overseas is very expensive. So I have 5% of my business that is worldwide.
Mhm.
But I don't focus on worldwide. I focus on the US. 95% of my business is US.
Okay. Well, this was really great talking to you, TreVor, and you did give a lot of information. All the best to you and your family, and we were really honored to have you on the show here. Before we, go offline, would you like to say a few words here to the crowd?
Yeah. Everyone who is in e-commerce or who plans to be in it or is interested in it, we are hosting the largest e-commerce information event in e-commerce history, September 21st through the 30th. It has so much information that it's going to take 9 days for us to do it all. It's the top entrepreneurs in e-com, and it's all free. It's a labor of love. There's no pitches, so they're not going to be selling products. They're simply going to be giving you pure gold. Everyone should sign up for it. It's www.ecommcon.com, ecomcon.com. Everybody should register. You should have your friends register, your family register. There's going to be so much information there. If you want to take it to the next level, you need to model the people who are successful. And I've collected all the success stories together, and they will be presenting at ecomcon.com free event. Two M's, ECOMMCON. Ecomcon.com. There you go. I sent that to you.
Okay, that's fantastic. Again, thank you so much for being on the show here, TreVor, and good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Reach out if you have questions. I'll see you next time, and hopefully at EcomCon.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.